Cheers, my friends. Cheers. Just a quick little stream, nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. So if two people show up, Secret Squirrel's already here. Hell yeah. Shout out to you, my good friend for many years. But if it's only Secret Squirrel and I, that's fine. It was impromptu. I will be out of town next weekend, and thus there will be no show. I may get a little zesty, may get a little crispy, as I'm doing right now. Cheers to anyone having some beverages at the moment. It's Sunday. Gonna slave away tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and then fly the hell out of here. And so I'll be gone about a week. I'm gonna go visit family in Utah, and it'll be good. I've been working too goddamn much. I'm fucking burnt out. So it's gonna be nice to get away, although I'm going to the goddamn snow. I don't know how. I think my blood has thinned out to the point where it's been 50 degrees out here in Florida and I've been freezing. I'm wearing a hoodie and it's like 55 today. And apparently it's in the 30s in Salt Lake. So I don't know how the hell I'm going to handle it. I might be a little bitch the whole time there, but I'm going to be with family, and that's the most important thing. My mother used to come and visit for Thanksgiving. I never really cared for Thanksgiving, but it almost became like a tradition where my mom would fly down and spend Thanksgiving with me. And so, what's up, Maria? And so, ever since her passing, I was like, fuck Thanksgiving. I was talking to my sister, and she's like, just come down, we'll do something together. And I was like, yeah, that'd be good. So I'm looking forward to that, hanging out with family. I got no family down here in Florida. It's just us pretty much. And it is what it is. I mean, you get used to it, but it's always nice. I think when you're with family 24/7, you guys, you get used to each other. You get annoyed with each other, but when you have some separation, my family's out west, I'm out in Florida by myself. You appreciate them more. Funny enough, you should appreciate your family when you have them right across the damn block. But instead, a lot of times people bicker, man. And it's not until you have that long distance that you really appreciate each other. And so it's going to be awesome to, reconnect with my family for a little bit. And I just wanted to do these shows because I don't know if I'm going to have a show in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to try to get a guest. There's never guarantees of that. And so it might be a couple of weeks before I do a show. That's why I did the doubleheader this weekend. I did a show, great, excellent show. Anyone that's into the JFK stuff, listen to that show. If you are an amateur, or maybe you've only heard one thing or two things, yesterday's show may have gone way above your head, and I completely understand it. I try to slow down my buddy Corey a couple times because when he starts rattling off JFK stuff, I can keep up with him to an extent, but goddamn, even with me, sometimes I'm like, holy shit, bro, slow down, bro. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about right now. But I think it's awesome that, that I can consider as a friend someone like Corey and someone as knowledgeable as him. I text him all the time. I'm like, dude, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And sometimes he's like, oh, that's interesting. Most of the time he's like, yeah, that's bullshit. And I brought up some of those questions on last night's episode. which I did not do. So that reminds me, I'm on YouTube. This is like the second time we did a show on YouTube. Last night I'm doing one right now. And if you are new to the YouTube channel, you're probably like, holy crap, oh my goodness, he's posting two videos and he never posts videos on YouTube. Well, I actually do post every goddamn weekend. If you haven't got the hint of it by by what I've been saying. And right now, we've only got a couple people. That's hilarious. This is why I don't use YouTube anymore. I Back in the day, we used to do YouTube streams, and we had hundreds and hundreds of people. Maria in the live chat, Secret Score in the live chat, the only two people in the live chat right now on YouTube. They are witnesses. They were both there. But yeah, just with the cancel culture and everything, that it's just horrible, everything that's going on YouTube. And my content is not YouTube friendly, and that's why I rarely post on this stupid platform. So if you only follow me on YouTube and you like my content, definitely follow me on these other platforms. I'm on Spotify, Apple. If you want video versions, you can get them on Spotify. You can get them on or I'm also on Podcast Addict. We got a good little crowd there nowadays. We've got about 10,000 subscribers across all platforms, and I'm truly humbled. It's freaking awesome. I mean, 10,000 may not sound like a lot to some people. It's a lot to me. And then if you want videos, definitely hit the Rockfin. Sometimes people ask me, how do I make an account in Rockfin? You can do a free account. You can do a premium account. Rockfin's probably not going to like me saying this, but I don't do premium episodes. My episodes are free. Sometimes people throw shekels there, and appreciate those people. But yeah, I don't put any premium stuff. I just want people to enjoy the shows at the end of the day. And the other place, we just hit over 1,000 subscribers on Odyssey just a couple of days ago. That's freaking awesome. I've seen people with YouTube channels with 50,000, 60,000 followers that don't even have 1,000 Odyssey followers. So to get 1,000 followers on Odyssey, goddamn, that's that's massive. And yeah, we've got several thousand people that tune into the show, and I'm truly humbled. And so that's one of the reasons why I put this on YouTube, because I know I don't even pay attention to this stupid channel here, to be honest with you. But I noticed we've had a little uptick in a couple subscribers here and there. And I just figured I'd let y'all know that I don't really post shit here. You want the good stuff, definitely look at the description and look at all the platforms that I'm on. I'm on several. And if you've never heard of any, get to know them. But I'm sure you've probably heard of a few, and follow me there. That would be awesome, because I've been lucky. I've had a lot of great guests, great conversations with a lot of interesting folks. Last night I did a simulcast with the Apollo detectives. It's an honor to call them my friends, and we had a blast. They are anti flat Earth, and that's fine. And I did make it known on that episode last night that I don't care either way. It's not gonna affect the way I serve my coffee in the morning and have to work my 90-hour weeks one way or the other. So I don't give a shit. But I think it's funny, the flat Earth people get crazy, like it's definitely flat. And then as last night with my friends, the Apollo detective, they're like, oh, screw the flat Earthers. I'm just in the middle. I don't care. And to each your own, if you are new to my content, you will realize that I try to talk to everyone and anyone. I don't just try to get people that I agree with. Um, Many times I've had people that I disagree with quite a bit. I've had conversations with people that I agree with mostly, and then we'll discuss our one very big disagreement. An example would be when I had that conversation with John Brisson. Another example, I mean, I had Jared White last night. He's a astrophysicist from Australia, super intelligent dude. He debated an actual official astronaut and wiped the floor. But he's a guy that doesn't believe in conspiracies, and him and I chatted about conspiracy. So I like having tough conversations, not for the sake of argument or nothing like that. It's just I don't know. I want to challenge. Like if I feel sure about something, I want someone to challenge me, and if they can show me a different way of viewing things, I'm down to learn. But if I wipe the floor with that person, then I'm like, I knew I was right. And it may sound arrogant, but that's how it is. And but at the end of the day, I enjoy conversations. Uh People often say, "Damn, man, you could talk for hours and hours and hours." Hell yeah, I can. I've always been able to ever since I was a kid. I remember people adults when I was a kid like, "Holy shit, bro, there's a time and place for everything. You talk a little too damn much." So it's just in the genes, man. My mom was the same way, so I took a lot of after her, you know. So I think that's just part of it. And if I do talk quite a bit, it's a perfect fit then to do a podcast, to do this show. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of works out perfectly in many ways. Um, and I'm always pleased when people leave comments. People have been leaving comments on Spotify quite a bit. Most of the time, 98% of the time, positive. Every now and then, some knucklehead comments. um, I've had some interesting ones come in lately, but all the people that leave the positive ones, yeah, I thank you for that. Some people leave comments on the videos, on the Rumble videos, wherever, and try to get back to everyone and just want to tell people that I appreciate that. It's awesome to hear from you guys directly, even though I don't know who the hell you may be or what, but it's awesome to hear from people that listen. I'm not going to say strangers, but people that have been listening. Some of you have been listening for quite some time. Some of you may have been listening for a short time. And whenever I hear from y'all, it's awesome. I don't know what it is. I can't describe it, but it uh it does something to my innards. It makes me feel good is what I'm trying to say. Like it's especially when I hear your um that you enjoyed the show. It you know it's it's a welcome feeling, I should put it. uh so on December 14th, I'm trying to get a show scheduled with a couple of big names. um I'm always trying to get some big names to have some monster shows. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't, but I'm working on it. Uh, so far in stone, I have James Perloff. I am almost done with this book. I just purchased it right there. It is called "Exploding the Official Myths of the Lincoln Assassination" by James Perloff. I got it literally a few days ago, and I haven't been able to put it down. I'm just about done with it. Um, I spent all day lazing around today and just reading voraciously chapter after chapter. And he- here's another book that I bought. The Reason Lincoln Had to Die by Don Thomas. I've got in contact with Don Thomas, tried to get him to do a show with me, but unfortunately, he's not doing shows at the moment. He did get back to me and let me know that he appreciated me inviting him on, but he's not doing anything right now, which is awesome. Even if it was he declined, the very fact that he took the time out to let me know and thank me anyways. That's speaks highly of a person. But from what I understand, his book, he is one of the guys that. So John Wilkes Booth had a diary allegedly, and it went missing. And Lafayette Baker uh, apparently found it. Edwin Stanton held on to it, didn't let the military tribunal of its existence. And had it been known, a lot of the co-conspirators in the Abraham Lincoln assassination probably would not been would not have been hung. But I debate that too, because those the trial or the jurors were handpicked by Edwin Stanton. But the point is, Mr. Don Thomas, the author of this book, he made a lot of FOIA requests and got a lot of primary sources, documents, and he found out that in 1977 the FBI looked over the Booth diary and realized 42 pages had been ripped out. And through forensics, they also noticed that some other pages had been reinserted, glued. You know, they, in other words, they found a lot of fuckery going on with John Wilkes Booth's diary, and so that's fascinating to me. James Perloff, whom I will have on December 14th, the author of that first book I showed you, The Exploding Myths of the Official Myth or Tale of the Lincoln Assassination. I just butchered that. Let me read it again. Official Myths, Exploding the Official Myths of the Lincoln Assassination by James Perloff. He he's going through a lot of the bullshit in the official story. As many of you know, maybe some of you know, maybe you're new and you have no idea. I did the voiceover for David McGowan's Why Everything You Need to Know, Why Everything You Thought You Knew About the Lincoln Assassination Is Wrong. And I voiced over that book about a year ago. I'm gonna see if I could pull it up on Spotify so that you can see it. Okay. And it's a book that he wrote, and I've listened to myself read it to myself probably 7 or 8 times, just a shit ton of times. And I'm just obsessed with it, man. It's a great read. Where the hell is it? I'm gonna try to pull it up. Um mm, Damn it. That's not what I wanted to do. So it's a great read because David McGowan went through James Swanson's book Manhunt and completely completely destroyed it. Bill O'Reilly wrote a tome on the Lincoln assassination as well, and he destroys that, and he just points out the bullshit with it. And one of the more controversial things that David McGowan says in the Lincoln book is that the attack on the Seward mansion never took place. And that is something that even the historians like James Perloff, I'm going to bring this up to him when I have him on. I'll be interested to get his take because James Perloff doesn't believe the official tale, but it sounds like he believes that the attack on the Seward Mansion did take place. So, okay, found it. Let me screen share it. And so that's going to be interesting to to ask him his take. Hey, Mr. James, I respect your okay. So here on Spotify, you guys can see what I've been listening to. I'm listening to the Civil War and Reconstruction. They're covering the Mexican War. I'm a nerd when it comes to this shit, man. You guys wonder why I know so much. It's not because I'm smart. It's just I'm just loading up my stupid noggin with all this knowledge. So this is the kind of shit, right? And that's hilarious. It pulled up. Uh, I'm listening to this currently right now. They're doing a pretty good job. It's a husband and wife, and one is a northerner, the other one is a southerner. And so far, their takes seem to be pretty balanced. It's not 100% pro South. It's not 100% pro North, which is the kind of shit that I like. I don't like when it just leans one way or the other. But anyways, if you go to Spotify, you have this little search bar. And if you go to my homepage and just search it there, you'll be able to pull up this episode quicker. But if you're on Apple or Podcast Addict, whatever, if you go down, cycle past 170, so the episode is going to be in between 170 and 169. And the audiobook, I mean, how many times do you get a chance to get a free audiobook? It's on my goddamn channel. Take advantage of it. I read it slow to try to minimize as many mistakes as possible. But you can mess around, you can toggle with the speeds on it. So instead of listening to the audiobook at one, regular normal speed, I'm going to be reading it. Why everything you think I'm just kidding. I don't think it's that bad at normal speed, but it's pretty slow because I quickly learned the reason you want to read slow is to avoid as many mistakes as possible. I still had some. Primarily, the biggest mistakes I made were in the pronunciation of the names. It was the very first time I was reading it. I got hooked with that book immediately. And I didn't even know a lot of the characters' names. For example, I talk about Secretary of State Seward, but I call him Seaward. I think initially I started saying Mary and John Surratt, and it's Surat. So little mistakes like that, but I mean, you'll be able to get the gist of it for the most part. And that's going to be the homework assignment. I put in the description that I was going to give updates on things and thoughts and homework assignments. That's going to be the homework assignment. Try to listen to that audiobook. It is about 6 hours, or I'm sorry, a little over 5 hours long. But if you listen to it at 1.5 speed, I think it sounds a lot better. It just cruises by. So instead of taking, a little over 5 hours, you could probably listen to it in about 3 hours. You can listen to it in a day, maybe in a couple of days, and break it up. And if you didn't understand it as I did, so don't feel bad if you God damn, there's so many characters getting thrown at me. Who the hell is this guy? That's how I was. So I'm trying to give y'all some words of encouragement. When I first read it, they were talking about George Atzerodt, Lewis Thornton Powell, David Harold and all these. I'm like, who? There's so many goddamn names. What the fuck? Then I listened to it a second time, and it started to make more sense. So I would. That's going to be your homework assignment. Follow me on whatever podcast player of your choice. Leave a 5-star review. Some of the haters have been hitting me with 1 stars, and it's knocking me down. So if you enjoy this shit, give it a 5-star on Spotify, Apple, um, or wherever podcast player that allows for it. Hook it up. I'm never gonna be asking money for money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be asking for reviews. Hey man, you got some 5-star reviews for that ass? uh, so yeah, that's gonna be the homework assignment. Listen to that audiobook a couple times. That way, when I have James Perloff and we're talking 100% Lincoln assassination, you guys are not gonna be like deers in the headlight. Like, what the hell are they talking about right now? Because it is frustrating when you may be tuning into a conversation and it sounds interesting, but if you have zero idea what the content is about, who the hell's this and who the hell's that, you're gonna get lost. I was lost when I first started the Lincoln assassination crap, and now I'm 3 books deep, and I've got a 4th one that I'm listening to the audio version. It's a book about John Wilkes Booth escaping. That one's fascinating, man. It's fascinating. I'm not gonna lie. James Perloff doesn't put too much stock into it as well as others. But it was recommended by David McGowan. That's why I purchased that book. And it's an interesting one. And then I've got another book that was written in 1937 by Eisenschimmel. That one is supposed to be pretty badass, so I'm excited to get that one. I'm turning into a goddamn nerd when it comes to Lincoln assassination. I've noticed a lot of people don't talk Lincoln assassination. There's very little interest. Maybe some of y'all listening to it, they're like, yeah, man, fuck the Lincoln assassination. I get it. It's not for everyone. But I figured now that I'm in, like I can't get enough. I'll be listening to lectures. I'll be watching documentaries, even with shit that goes with the official narrative. There was a movie on Netflix, I think, called Manhunt, and that's based on James Swanson's official version of events. And once you listen to David McGowan's audiobook that I have on my Spotify and you watch that movie, you can still enjoy it, but you're like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And you feel so much smarter. It's crazy. Maybe we're fucking idiots, but I sure as fuck feel smarter over it. Let's see. Missy? What's up, Bernadette? Who else we got? We got George O'Brien. And we got on Rockfin, we have Christopher Mincy. What's he says? Wheezy Bosheezy. Wheezy, ever read the Confederate Constitution? Crazy. They allocated lifetime confessional seats to Native Americans and gave them Oklahoma. They allowed all states to be slave free if the states voted for it. Keith Alexander is a great Southern historian, and he talks a lot about Lincoln. I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, when I get my history, I want to consume it all, whether I agree with that person or not. I want to know. I've been listening to a lot of pro official tell Lincoln docs and videos on YouTube and lectures, talks, whatever the hell, whatever have you. And I'm like, God damn, man. That kind of makes sense. Okay, that's bullshit. Okay, you're saying this, but what the hell? See, the thing with the Lincoln assassination, I'm going to bring this up with Mr. James Perloff when I have him on. James Perloff has written many books, so he's a pretty accomplished author himself. So it's going to be, I'm excited for that. That's why I'm giving y'all some homework. But the thing with the Lincoln assassination, there's so many moving parts to it, so many parts that have been accepted as truth, which can be disputed. I'll give you some examples right now, just right off the top of my dome. For example, a lot of people say that Booth, after shooting Lincoln in the head, it's such a cartoon image too, man. The more I think about it, we're told little ass Booth with the one shot Derringer on the left hand. He's got a big ass knife on the right hand. He storms the booth. Hiya! Boom to the head, slash to the right. It's so cartoonish. The more and more I've thought about it, and I'm gonna bring up some interesting questions, James Perloff, about that, as well as the attack on the Seward Mansion, and it's gonna be interesting to get his take. So far in reading his book, he seems like he has reasonable takes. I'm agreeing with most of what he's saying about the Lincoln assassination, 100%. And even in the parts that he knows people are going to disagree with him, he says this is controversial. If you disagree with me, that's fine. This is just the way I view it. I can 100% get behind something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, this is how I see it. I'm not saying you have to see it this way. I'm just laying it out. And that's a great approach. And therefore, I'm excited to talk to Mr. Perloff regarding the Lincoln assassination. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked again. One of those examples, he allegedly shoots Lincoln in the head, stabs Henry Rathbone, and then makes his leap off the stage. And this is where most people will say he broke his leg and yelled, "Sic Semper Tyrannis." This is such a cartoon event. Then there's other people that said, no, I didn't see him break his leg there. He ran off the stage and he was fine. And allegedly, he broke, and this is on Booth's diary, he broke his leg when his horse fell upon him during their escape. So there's dispute there. And Dr. Mudd, an individual who took Booth in and splinted his leg, later reported that the injury wasn't that very serious at all, wasn't even painful. So who the hell do we believe? Do we believe that he broke his leg when he jumped off the balcony? Do we believe he broke his leg when the horse fell on him, supposedly? Do we believe Dr. Mudd that said he didn't even have a series? There's so many instances of this. And then even to the whole yelling on the stage, Semper Tyrannis, Henry Rathbone, if you listen to his deposition, said that as soon as he shot Lincoln, he's like, freedom. So all these things, and they get accepted. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is even these tiny little discrepancies aren't fact. They're disputed facts, with a large grouping of people saying this, a large grouping of people saying, no, it happened this way. And then you have a smaller minority saying, no, it didn't happen like anything like that. It happened like that. Who the hell do we believe when you have so many conflicting things at the same time? You know what I'm saying? And I suppose, what's up, Death Tyrants? I suppose you can do that with many things, even in current times. Let's take the COVID stuff. I'll talk in code since we're on YouTube, but you had some people legitimately believing that lockdowns were absolutely needed. You had Donald Trump pushing lockdowns. You had the Biden administration pushing lockdowns and jabbies. And then you had another segment of the population saying, no, these things are untested. We don't need lockdowns. Our kids are being deprived of learning. And you still have both factions saying, yeah, I took the right approach. Now, I agree that we didn't need these jabbies. I'm on that side. Not that I'm on any political side, because I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in this left right bullshit. I just look at things and try to use the best reason and logic. Maybe it's flawed. Maybe some people think it's flawed at times, but I try to do that with everything. My take on the Trump alleged assassination, I said it's fake as fuck. There's a number of you listening to this that say, "Oh my goodness, how dare you?" I can just go with what I see, and I'm never gonna cave in and say shit just to appease or get a greater following. It's like, I mentioned at the very beginning last night with the Apollo detectives. They were going hard on the flat earthers, and it's all good, freedom of speech. But even though I'm not a flat earther, I felt compelled to say it's all good. I got flat earth homies, and I love them. You know what I'm saying? And so, even though I personally don't agree with flat earth, I know there's good people that believe in that shit, and I have their back, and I have the Apollo detectives back as well. Like, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that rant. It's just, life's interesting, and I'm just ranting and rambling at this point in time. I didn't even realize I was on Rumble, but let's see. We don't have anyone tuning in except Death's of Tyrants on Rumble. So that doesn't matter. Anyways, let's see. Goddamn, I was thinking I was only going to do 20 minutes, and we ended up doing 40 minutes. Hope that answers any questions. When we will do another show down the road, I don't know yet. I'm going to try to do one in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, what should the poll question be? Maybe I'll just say this. If you've made it this far and you're listening on the podcast players and you're on Spotify, leave some comments, whatever comments you want to leave. Maybe some guest suggestions, like say, hey, Wheezy, I think you should look into this person or that person, whatever. Leave them there, and it'll help me help my search for next guests that much easier. Anyone that you may want me to have a chit chat with. I've got Mr. David Knight. I'm trying to nail a date with him, so that'll be a big ass show. David Knight used to work at InfoWars with Alex Jones, and him and Alex Jones had a beef. Mr. David Knight said, "I'm not down with this pro-Trump shit. I think he's part of the swamp. He's filling everything with swamp creatures." And Alex Jones fired him. So Alex Jones, someone that complains about his speech being limited and all this bullshit, he don't believe in free speech either. So I'm gonna try to get Mr. David Knight. That'd be a freaking banger of a show. But again, this won't be on YouTube, so you may not even. This might be the last video on YouTube for quite some time. So definitely check me out on these other alternative platforms. Shout out to everyone that popped in and made it. Some of you have been following for many years now, and I don't take that lightly. I definitely appreciate each one of y'all. Some of y'all, I won't say any names, have been following me for a long time, but only pop in when I do YouTube. What the fuck? Come on now. You guys can pop in on these other alternative platforms. Um, but at the same time, everyone has priorities and has their reasons. So it's still awesome to see some of y'all that I have seen for many years, even if it's only when I pop in on YouTube. Hope everyone has an exquisite evening. Oh, and a quick word. The intro, the outro that I've been playing quite a bit lately. It's, it's a little Mexican beat, whatever, but it's my beat. I purchased it. Found a young music producer on YouTube. Freaking loved it as soon as I heard that jam. So it is officially my licensed beat, just in case y'all know. So enjoy the shit out of it. Maybe some of y'all are like, oh God, this music is so corny. Maybe so, but I fucking love it. With that being said, thank you everyone that tuned in. And thank you everyone that will be listening to this via the podcast formats at some point in the week. I notice a bulk of you will listen to it as soon as it gets uploaded. God damn, you guys are the diehards. Mad love to y'all. And then quite a few of you by the end of the week will eventually get to it. And that's awesome as well, too. So shout out to all of y'all. People listening in Australia, Europe, obviously, Canada, wherever you may be around the world. I'm truly humbled by that. Yeah, I mean it. I don't. I'm not just saying that. That's freaking awesome. Thanks to each and one of y'all. Hugs and kisses to all.